Peace and blessings. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Bossy. Hey, I'm coming to you live from the cathedral because some of y'all need Jesus. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm coming to you live from St. Louis Cathedral. We're going to talk about relationships. One of my least favorite topics. We're going to talk about it today. And the reason we're going to talk about it is because even though I'm not a marriage counselor or relationship specialist in the least, people constantly come to me to discuss their relationship. So we're going to discuss it today. First of all, I want to stress the importance of being honest with yourself about this relationship and about this person. You don't have to make things up about people because people are telling you and showing you exactly who they are all the time. You don't have to use your imagination or fantasize about someone or pretend that you know more about a person's potential than they do. You don't have to do those things. And in fact, it would be better if you did not do those things. Because when you are in an imaginary relationship with someone, or if you are in a real relationship with an imaginary person, the person who loses most is you. The person who will hurt most in the end is you. So my first tip is be as much in reality as you possibly can. Let me tell you something. I'm offended every day that ain't no man come to save me. I'm offended every single day that ain't nobody made it a priority to come and get me and ride off into the sunset on a stallion and take me to my land that they bought for me, all my acres, and build me a house with a farm and made my life soft and cushy. I'm offended every day that ain't nobody look at me and say, I'm going to give this queen the world. I'm offended. I'm mad about it every single day. But no level of absolute confusion is going to make me play myself and be in a pretend relationship with someone. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of me. Who a person is before you're dating and while you're dating tells you everything that you need to know. You don't need to trap anybody in a relationship. You don't have to get married to somebody thinking that that's going to magically make things better. You don't need to trap anybody with a baby. You don't need to add additional problems into a relationship that is already chock full of problems. And you don't have to lie to yourself about who somebody is. These men are doing a wonderful job lying on themselves to you. You don't need to help them by also lying to yourself about who they are. Because if we existed in a world where you're in community, you're surrounded by your sisters, you have wonderful family support, you have your own land and your own horses, and you're going to be all right regardless, and your daddy got, a collection of click booms and you good, I would say, girl, yeah, absolutely. Just, do it for love, do it for love. Go after the relationship that, whatever makes your heart go pitter patter and makes your lady parts go splish splash. I would say absolutely do that. F it, wing it, see what happens. I would say absolutely do that. But because we live in a world and we live in a society where people will blame you and pretend like you got yourself pregnant and talk all kinds of mess for you and absolutely not support you, I would say, hold on now. Hold on. Slow down. Can he take care of himself? You will know whether or not he can take care of himself because he will be doing it. If he went from living with that woman to living with his mama to living with you to living with his mama again to living with you again, he can't take care of himself. If he can't take care of himself, he cannot take care of you. What's going to happen when your car breaks down? What's going to happen when you don't have enough money to cover something? Words? People, you have to really just watch how people take care of themselves or don't take care of themselves, how they move through the world, what they think, what they believe, whether they live in a delusion or reality, because all of those things are going to affect the relationship that they have with you. The relationship that they have with women how they speak about women, think about women. I dated a man who, one of the things he said is, I tend to not like dark-skinned women. Anytime a person is a colorist, one thing I can tell with absolute certainty is that you did not attend a historically black college or university, because they would have educated the colorism right out of you. That internalized self-loathing and self-hatred, that internalized racism, they would have educated the colorism right out of you. People who talk about this light skin, dark skin stuff, your lack of education is showing. Okay? And so there are things that people will do, and then I know in the relationship podcast, they call these red flags. You listen to what a person says and what they do. I don't care how handsome a person is, how tall they are. I don't even care how much money they have. If you have children you never see, if everything, your past relationships, everything is the woman's fault, and you talk crazy about women in general, and you seem to hate women who have their own money. You care more about what shoes you have on your feet than your credit score. You live with other people. You live off of other people. You can't provide basic things for yourself. Why are you on dating apps? Why are you in my face? Do I look like a cheap date to you? Additionally, I'm not going to explain to anybody how to treat me, how to be in your big age. I don't want to have to educate anybody at their big age on how to be in a relationship with a grown woman, how to care for a woman, how to provide for her, protect her. I had an ex-boyfriend say to me, "It's not my job to protect you." I said, "Ooh, that'll do it. That'll do it." So I'm out with you and I'm going to have to protect myself? That'll do it. Let me tell you, he tried to walk that statement back. You can't. I'm going to remember you say that. I'm going to remember you said that for the rest of my life, that I'm not safe with you. People will tell you, because people run their mouths like crazy. They will tell you exactly who they are and exactly what they think of you. That's why you don't have to be in an imaginary relationship with someone, or you don't have to be in a real relationship with an imaginary person. You don't have to be in a real relationship with an imaginary person that you made up in your own mind. When you see who people really are, and you love yourself enough to protect yourself, to keep yourself safe, and you're perfectly fine on your own, and you've prioritized doing the things in your life that makes your life easier and better, with or without a companion, I'm going to be just fine, then there is no rush and there is no desperation. If a person is not communicating, if they're not showing up, if they refuse to keep their word, if they're not a good friend to you, if they are talking mess about women in general, or talking mess about their ex, or they never see their children, or they can't provide for themselves, can't take care of themselves, definitely not going to take care of you, they are delusional, they have terrible priorities, they don't get things done. You in the middle of work, they calling you, trying to see what you doing. You ask them what they doing, they laying around in the middle of the day, playing video games in the house that you own. Girl, bye. There is no, ooh. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. No. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The answer here is that we have to fall in love with self. You have to fall in love with yourself, your own life. You have to really want to live a beautiful, fruitful, abundant, exciting, adventurous, gorgeous, lush life. Like, you have to want that, and not be looking at other people in relationships, talking about relationship goals, like looking at other people in relationships and wanting what you think they have. A lot of these people don't have what you think they have. Sorry. And you're looking at other people's relationships, and you're thinking, "Oh, I want that." I promise you, 9 times out of 10, you do not want that. I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you. That's why I don't look at other people's relationships and think that's a goal. Absolutely not. People people be playing themselves. You'll see somebody get into a relationship and things start blowing up in their lives. Things start going wrong. It's because you're in the wrong relationship. Things breaking down, money going down, things spiraling out of control. Ask me how I know. It's because I've been there and I've experienced what it's like financially, in terms of business and in terms of the ease of my life, how things are affected by being in relationship with people who are not good for me. Things stop working out. Everything starts to go haywire. And then as soon as that person is gone, income quintupled. Everything is flowing. Everything is smooth. Everything is easy. My life is peaceful again. My body feels better. I'm sleeping through the night. Everything is better in my life. You have to give things an opportunity to. If you're in a relationship and things are blowing up in your life, things are messed up in your life, things are falling apart in your life, then obviously this is not a relationship that you want to continue. It's not a relationship that you want to maintain. It's something that you should free yourself of, something you should liberate yourself of, and something you need to move on from, for your own sake. And I think that really comes from a place of wisdom. It comes from a place of self-care and self-love, and definitely from a place of self-honor. That if you stay in this relationship, things will continue to unravel for you. And you have to decide whether you want to stay in a situation, a relationship where things are falling apart and things are unraveling, or if you want because I think that the absolute best thing that you can do for yourself is to get back to a place where you trust and know that God is going to help you find your divine mate, to find the person. And in the meantime, you can have a glorious life while you wait. All right. That's all I have to say about it. So I think ultimately when we are in reality about ourselves and about our relationships and about who people are and who they are to us, we make better decisions. I think that the number one thing we can do is to stop pretending. Nobody benefits from you pretending but the people that you are lying for. So don't do that. I hope this helps. Peace and blessings.